Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about managing breast cancer and managing your career. So there are several things to cover. The first is, how do you let your workplace know what you're going through? Well, it's really important that you control the message, that you decide who knows and when. The other thing to know is that people will talk. So even if you ask people to keep your news in confidence, sometimes they are worried about you, don't know who to talk to, so they talk to another person at work. You can't control this. So be careful who you tell and when. Make sure you know everything you need to know before you talk to people at work. In other words, it helps most people to know what their treatment will involve before they tell folks at work. Because people will have a lot of questions for you. If you don't know the answer to that, it can actually cause you more stress to be saying over and over again, I don't know, and maybe these are things you haven't yet thought of. So what I do recommend is wait till you have a treatment plan as much as is available to you before you tell people at work. The second thing is, as much as people, you would like them not to talk about you, they will. And I think if you can just accept that, know that it's not malicious, that they're doing it to seek support because perhaps they're worried about you, that this is a pretty natural thing. Now, your boss, the person you report to, actually you can expect more confidence and more confidentiality from your boss. But the other folks at work, I would say you can't control the message. So when you talk with your folks at work, and let's start with your boss, it's really important for them to know where work stands in all of this. So let's say you're miserable at work. We'll take sort of an extreme example, and then I'll go with the other extreme where you love your job. So if you are miserable at work, it's going to be really hard for you to be showing up at work, your full, wholehearted self, while you're undergoing treatment for breast cancer. If, on the other hand, you love your job, you may actually find that work reminds you that you are more than a patient. This may be where your identity is. So I think asking yourself, where does work fit for me relative to my treatments? Now, all of this, of course, goes out the window if you are in a position of job lock, where you need to stay in your job to have benefits. So I just want to sort of enter that into evidence that you may feel you don't have any freedom at work because without your job, you don't have access to medical care. So there are a whole host of things to consider when we talk about who you tell and what is your relationship with work. So why would your relationship with work matter when you tell your boss? We'll start with your boss. It matters because your level of commitment to your job is going to just determine how you organize your appointments. If you're getting chemotherapy, you may choose to go to a place that can treat you early in the morning or later in the day. You may go to work and then get chemotherapy, or you may get radiation in the morning and have a full day at work. Most of the time, we can work around your schedule. You may be able to find a place where you can get your chemotherapy on the weekend, for example. If you're getting chemotherapy, if you're having surgery, it's important to give yourself as long as possible off work as you think you might need and as work will give you. So although you may be able technically to go back to work after 10 days, there's a level of fatigue that you will have after surgery that can be a surprise to people, and you may actually welcome more like 4 to 6 weeks off if you have that option. So your relationship to work will determine how you schedule your appointments. I will give you a tip. A lot of patients of mine will get treatment on a Friday and then have the rest of the day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to recover, and then resume work Monday or Tuesday if they're able. You want to give yourself as much flexibility. If you find yourself, if you're at a job where you really hate it, you may want to schedule your chemotherapy on a Monday so that you can have Tuesday and Wednesday off and have a very short week to go back to. I'm hoping that makes sense. So you need to find out from yourself, only you can answer this, What's my relationship to work? What kind of flexibility do I have? For people who don't have a lot of flexibility at work, getting disability, temporary disability, short-term disability, if that's an option for you, is something that I strongly recommend, because if you miss work and that flexibility is not built in, you could actually find yourself under a lot of stress about whether or not you can keep your job. So back to when you tell your boss, they're going to want to know what this means for them. Yes, they care about you, but they need to make sure that they're staffing the floor or the team, or that the work is getting done. So understanding for them that you actually going out on short-term disability might help them staff their team in a more clear way. That could be one option, or they may need you there as much as possible. Just make sure you can build that flexibility in. And then what about telling other people at work? Again, wait till you know what the plan is. Be prepared for all sorts of unskilled responses. So people are going to tell you about somebody they knew with cancer who didn't have a good outcome. It's not that they are thinking about you, they're processing your news. They may say something to you like, well, you have a good kind of cancer. There are no good cancers. And what they're trying to do is reassure themselves that you're going to be okay. We have some other videos about how to break news and what to expect when you give your news to other people. The same thing applies with your work folks as it does with your family, and frankly, even your kids. If you supervise other people, they are going to react in some of the same ways that our kids react when we give them bad news. I just want to have an aside here. Work is not your family, right? A lot of workplaces will say we're like a family. With a family, it's really hard to leave. With a job, it's a lot easier to leave. So that's why I'm not talking about your work family. So although they may respond like your real family, work is a workplace. Even I, who have an amazing team, we don't talk about our work as family for that reason and a few others. All right, what about managing all the work when you're undergoing treatment? This is a great place to get really organized. You can watch some of our videos about staying organized, but keeping your treatment schedule, who to call, your reports, all really well organized is really helpful. And if organization is not a strength of yours at work, finding some new strategies to help you stay organized can be really useful. Talking about those strategies in a lot of detail is not part of the scope of this video, but there are a lot of resources, and if you need some more tips, let us know. But we do have some videos on staying organized. Jotting everything down is one of the most important things. You'll find that a notebook, whether it's a paper notebook or if you use your phone or another digital tool to keep track of everything, it's going to be really invaluable to you. There's a level of fatigue that comes with surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, sleep disturbances, just stress alone. Even if you were super organized, you're going to find that you are even more dependent on things like Post-it notes and the Notes app on your phone. I'm a pencil and paper person. I have to see it all out in front of me, even though I've got a great phone. So find what works for you and view it as an experiment. The other thing is find people who can help you out. I'm sure you've been there for other people when they've gone through something serious at work, and now you can ask them to help you out. So if you don't mind getting reminded, tell people, please, if you don't hear from me by Tuesday, remind me. Yes, it's kind of shifting the burden and sharing the burden with another person, but you have a lot going on, and getting help from other people, even if it's just as simple as asking them to remind you, is a great strategy. What if you want to take time off work? So let's talk about disability and the Family Medical Leave Act for people in the United States. So you can either take sick days, some people have sick days, and you can use your sick bank. You may be at a workplace where people give their sick days to other people when they need them. So if you've been part of a pool where people donate their sick days to other people, this is time for you to take advantage of that option. Even if you overall feel pretty good, you're going through something pretty extreme right now. The other thing you can do is go on short-term disability for people who are teachers, especially middle school and elementary school teachers, people who face the public, like people in real estate or people in law, or if you're at the front desk. How you feel about your appearance might really play a role. For teachers, it's mostly because you have to be on. So if you're in a position like you're a teacher or a nurse and you have to be on, providing care and attention to other people, this might be time to take some time off if you have that available to you. The Family Medical Leave Act is a law. It's an option for people who've been at a company for more than a year. The Family Medical Leave Act applies only to organizations with 50 or more employees. What the Family Medical Leave Act allows you to do is take up to 12 weeks of time away from work, and then you return to that organization. It's not always the same job. So these are things you're going to want to find out ahead of time, knowing that things can change when you're away from the workplace. So it's really hard for your boss to promise to you that the exact same position will be available to you when you come back from FMLA. It doesn't have to be continuous, so you can take Thursday and Friday every other week, and that can come from the FMLA Act, Family Medical Leave Act. So you can take time discontinuously, or it can be continuous. Similarly, if you have a family member who goes with you to appointments or helps take care of you, they can also take time away from work through the FMLA. Paperwork needs to be filled out by your medical team. So make sure that you provide that paperwork and you're really clear with your medical team what you need. So when I fill that paperwork out, I won't fill it out till my patient tells me the start date. So what I have people do is take a Post-it note, back to Post-it notes, and write when they want their FMLA dates to apply, because we have to line up what we document with what you take away from work. So just help us out when you ask us to fill out the paperwork so that we can help you out. We want it to all be in line with what you need and want. I've covered a lot: how to talk to people in the workplace, how to talk to your boss, how to understand your relationship with work, how to stay organized at work when you're going through treatment. You're now managing sort of two jobs, plus your family and other responsibilities in your community, and then a little bit about time off work and the FMLA. I hope it's been helpful to you. If it has, click like and subscribe. You can always drop a comment or question below. Hey, follow us on Instagram. We just launched on Instagram pretty recently. And come back, because we're always putting out new content. Also, you can go to yerbba.com to get your personalized report.